have been blessed to listen to some of your poems, and I felt like there was no other person that was better than you to be on this show. So Mamai Art Gallery organizes a couple of things, and the Gray Zone is one of the programs that we have, and it's for youth like you, youth that are resourceful and creative. We just created this platform for you guys to share what you have, how you have achieved it, how you go about it, what challenges you face, and all. So today, we will start by asking you to tell us about yourself.
Okay. My name is Kakwini Marion.
Okay.
I am 16. Yeah, I like photography.
Okay.
I like to write. Yeah, I'm a poet.
Yeah, so Marion, where do you draw your inspiration from? Like, do you just wake up and write whatever you feel? Or are there people you look up to, or poems and poets that inspire you? What?
Well, it's a combination of
Okay.
each of those things.
Okay.
Yes, I look up to a lot of poets.
Okay.
But usually I like to tell stories.
Awesome.
I tell stories in a more captivating, interesting kind of way. Yeah.
Okay.
So the stories are usually to voice the voiceless, to voice the people who can't speak on their own or aren't able to speak or are not exposed to platforms to speak. So yes, basically. So that's where the inspiration is mainly drawn from, and the message, to deliver a message.
How can poetry be made accessible and cool, especially to the young audience? Like, so when you tell people about poems, someone thinks, man, it must be like 50 or 60 to listen to those things, or to even be able to go up there and recite or be interested in.
The way we can make it cool and accessible to especially people my age
Yeah.
is writing about topics that we can relate with. Yeah. Because poetry already has a touch of creativity to it. So to top it all up, maybe if we can talk about things that we can relate with: school, home, love, friends, family. I think that would make it really interesting.
That's an awesome point when you say we actually need to get things that interest them. You're right, because people will be drawn to what makes. Talking of like stage fright, I have watched some videos of you reciting to a number of people, and I'm like, man, how does she do it? Because some people are actually great writers, but they cannot even stand before two people. Like they can recite these poems to themselves, so the message is actually lost because they keep it to themselves. But how have you learned to deal with such things like getting out there and speaking out?
Performing takes a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you have to redo the poem, memorize the poem, and redo it over and over again until you master it.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where you have to own your poem. Like you have to be in the place where your poem places you. If you're in the market, you have to be in the market. Act like you have to shut out the entire world and be in the market. Yeah. And then there's also a point where you have written the poem. So it's your poem and no one else knows the poem. So if you get to a point where you are stuck or you forget, you just continue like nothing happened. Continue with where you remember, to a point where you remember, repeat a few lines, and just move with the poem. So that it's hard, it gets weird when people realize that you have forgotten a poem that's yours, that you wrote yourself. So you just repeat a few lines, remember, and go slow, relax. Take deep breaths. It helps.
So that's really good advice, especially when you said like nobody knows your like you get like it's your thing. So even if you change it, that's what you feel. So what would you say a well-written poem has in common? Like what do they have in common?
Each poem is different. I think what is key is the message. The message behind the poem is what is important. Yeah, then along with the other things, the rhymes, the stanzas, and the way you present it, but mainly it's the message behind the poem.
How important is accessibility of meaning? Should one have to work hard to solve your?
You are not sure how far your poem is going to go. So I feel like it can be direct. It's okay. It should be easy to understand, because if people do not understand it, then you're not communicating. So there's no point of having a writing that people don't understand. So you're not communicating. I think it should be direct. It can be direct. But then there's also a point where you're writing for a specific kind of people, a specific group. So, like, for example, if you're writing for like doctors, it will have a particular register to it, like a language doctors can understand, but you can't give the same poem to me because I wouldn't get it. Yeah. So it depends on the register and the people you're writing for. But yes, it should be direct.
Your poem, 17 Tribes, 12 Languages. Man, that was great. I bet you have other poems and greater ones, but that poem was great. What was the purpose of the poem?
The purpose was to get people to change their perspective of how they look at their cultures, because we should love our culture, because our culture is the way we live. It's the way how we go about our everyday life. So if we do not like it, it gets quite harder to follow it. So the point was to teach people to love and to appreciate their culture more often and accept it and pass it on so that the next generation can see.
How did you go about crafting it? Describe the structure, how and the structure of the poem and how it relates to the content. Like it was so well laid out.
I'd say free verse, because we are very few people. we move with the moving times. But first was identifying the things that I actually like about my culture, then putting them together, forming lines, and then as you keep reading through it, you know what is irrelevant, what is relevant, keep it, arrange it.
What would you say is the tone of that poem and how is it achieved?
Tone, I'd say pride, joy, satisfaction of who we are. How to achieve it, I think, is basically intonation in the way we speak. The intonation and the repetition shows the passion that you have for the cultures and the people and everyone saw that. And also the use of different language, because that shows ownership of what you're writing about.
I know, because I didn't even know you knew Swahili. I was like, eh? Does the use of sound devices aid conveying the tone and the theme, or can you just go for it and you'll still nail it?
It does, because see, music sound puts people in a different kind of mood depending on the sound that it is. If it's a calm intensity, if it's a high intensity, depending. So if you want your poem to be calm, and of course it's a calm kind of music that you will use to get people in that mood, preparing for the message, for the kind of message that you're going to present. So yes, it does a lot.
Awesome. Let me tell you something. I listened to that poem over and over and over again. Like even right now, when I go to YouTube and listen to that poem, it sounds new to me every single day, and it like it's too good. It's good. That's why I'm hoping that you think of things like what, a YouTube channel or something like that, where you just give us a few of those things, because it made so much sense and it was really great. Marion, what books do you read? What books are you reading right now? Like, I want to be like you.
I like to read Danielle Steele books.
Okay.
Right now, I'm reading the Harry Potter series.
To be a great poet, to be awesome with words like that, play around with words that some of us look at and just ignore. Um, you, like you said, it takes a lot of passion and all that. So what advice do you have for young people like you? Like how can they best use their words? How can they best use their gifts, their talents?
First is try out new things. Try out new things until you find that thing that fits you, a thing that works for you. If it's writing, read, read a lot and write. Then because in writing is a form of catharsis. It's a therapy, like as you pour out yourself as is on papers and what it's. It also opens. They should consider sports for those gifted in those fields, because it opens up opportunity and confidence, and it helps you learn to express yourself more. Also, you should pray, pray a lot for God's blessings and intervention, and have fun. Have fun in whatever you're doing, because this is life. You do not want to waste it being annoyed or sad or stressed. So you should do it to relax, keep calm. So yeah.
Awesome. That Marion, it's really, really great having you, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation. I can't wait to share your poem with the audience. And I don't know if you have something brief. We have like a couple minutes, I think 7, but you can share something little if you do. If you don't remember, you said no, like we wouldn't know. So just come up with something that you can share with us. If you hadn't prepared, it's okay.
So this is a poem entitled "And So I Write." I often write. I write simply because I cannot speak sometimes, because my lips are unable to sense my self-control, to take control, or my body to at least draw the line. I write. I write because I'm burning, because I'm hurting from the scars my speech has soaked me. I write to confirm I cannot bear the pain. I cannot trust my mind to think and my ears to balance what I hear. I write because I have been betrayed, because my emotions have combined forces with the deepest of my thoughts to torment me, and they know not anything but utter destruction. I write because my mind replays what my heart can never let go, because I am simply unable to watch my lips take on far too great a task as this bestowed unto me. So for once, I let my heart do the talking, as it motions my pen to come contact with this form. I write to draw conclusions. I write to draw the line. I write in betrayal. I write because silence has betrayed me, because silence has made my noise, because I want to betray silence, because all I want is silence, to be silent, because I write to make my own noise. I write like it's all I know to do, like it's all I was taught to do. I write because my mind is playing, playing and replaying what my heart has failed to let go of. So how better than weary words of a torn soul on tear wet pages? On these pages I pour my rage to fill all the spaces my rage has stolen from me. It has taken over, so how better than words on pages? And so I write. I write because my confidence has run out. We parted ways with certainty, cut ties with full-bloom boldness and esteem. Esteem betrayed me. I write because I lost hope, because I've lost all form of hope. I'm burning inside, I'm dying inside. I write till the flame ignites to a fire. And when it burns, it's blinding, it's choking, it's suffocating. I'm blinded, unsighted, I'm choking, I'm suffocating from the smoke. I'm stained from the smoke, I'm choking from the smoke, I'm stained from the ashes. Oh, it burns and burns. Then I write. I write because my eyes are dry. I write till my eyes are dry. I write till my emotions are confused, till my lips are at an ultimate war, one of words. And so I write and then let it burn.
Wow, girl. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Like I don't know if you see my eyes tearing. Like you see you that's now that's the effect you have on me, and I will not lie to you, it's not just on me. Like it's on everybody that has listened to your poem. The previous one that we have had, and this is equally great. So you see what I was talking about, like you're talking about writing, and to me, it just like it goes so deep, and I feel what you're saying. I now know, oh, somebody is not just a nerd. That's why you get like that's how we judge people who love how to like love reading and writing and all that. But when you tell me what pushes you, I even feel very stupid. I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's really, really awesome. Marion, so I really hope that you stick to what you're doing, because you're doing all the right things.
Thank you.
Your poetry is way beyond. You get like you're doing good. I hope you are making some great stuff out of it, like not just reciting it in school and keeping it to only the people in school. So do you have any social media where you share your poems or no?
Not yet.
Yeah, we are getting you a YouTube channel. Like we are working on that immediately after this interview. Because seriously, one, you share a lot of content and you do it great. You do it really well. And yeah, so thank you so much.